In the last 4 weeks, I was able to get my handicap all the way down to a 17.7. This week, I was able to shave another massive chunk off of that number. Let me show you how I did it. First and foremost, I apologize for taking so long to get this video out. I went to Orlando to go to EDC for 4 days, had the time of my life, and add 2 days of trying to recover after that. Yeah, I wasn't able to be on the golf course for a while, but a few liquid IVs and I'm back on the course, baby. All right, first things first, when I get to the range for my warm-up session, I have a very particular system that I use. As a high handicapper, we never know if our driver is going to work or if we're going to be spraying the ball all over the place. You know what I'm talking about. One day you're roping them down the middle of the fairway, and then you come back the next day and you can't hit a fairway to save your life. Luckily for me, I have 3 different ways that I can get off the tee box: driver, 3-wood, or my driving iron. Before I start ripping the driver on the range, I have to get a little bit loose, so I start with my 50 degree and hit some half shots and then work my way up to hitting some full shots. Next up is my 7-iron, and that's simply because that's the club that I feel most comfortable with. I use it because when I'm warming up, I want to feel as confident as possible. If you're more confident with a 6-iron or your 8-iron or whatever, that's what I would suggest that you use. Just use whatever you're comfortable with. After I get a good feel for my swing and I get loose, then I go do my favorite part of the drill, which I call the grid. Just imagine what like the long drive competitor guys do, but you're doing it for your warm-up. You're not trying to get distance, you're trying to get accuracy though. So I pretend the fairway is the range, I get 5 balls with my driver, and I see how many I can hit on the fairway. Now I do technically get 5 out of 5 on the fairway, even though the first 2 are just barely in bounds, so clearly I shouldn't be playing with the driver that day if I'm trying to score. Next, we repeat the same thing with a 3-wood. I do end up getting 4 out of 5 if you count the top ball, so realistically 3 out of 5. Again, not great, but I feel better with this than I do with the driver because I was hitting it much straighter. Lastly, I switched to my driving iron or my utility iron, whatever you want to call it, and again, I get 3 out of 5 on this one, so you can see it's kind of a stalemate here. This is where it kind of comes down to confidence with the club that you have on the tee box, and I'm more confident with the 3-wood than I am with the driving iron. So at this point, obviously I decided that the driver is going to stay in the bag for the most of the day. I might take it out if there's like a par 5 with no water, no white stakes, and nothing that can get me in trouble if I accidentally spray one to the right or pull one to the left. But the majority of the day, I'm going to be using the 3-wood or the driving iron, depending on what each hole looks like. I know it sounds obvious, but when you get to the tee box and you see a drivable par 4, you might be tempted to pull out the driver. And if you aren't hitting it straight, that can take your birdie attempt and quickly turn it into trying to save a bogey. And this has actually been the biggest improvement to my game, and it's helped me shave some big numbers off the scorecard. I know it's not sexy golf, but an 85 is sexier than a 95 at the end of the round. So I had $10 for the practice session for the bucket of balls, and then now we move on to something a little different. Most of you don't know, but I was in a pretty bad accident a few years ago. I broke my spine in 2 places. I had a contusion in my left foot, 3 broken metatarsal in my right foot, snapped my thumb in half. Not only am I lucky to be able to walk or swing a golf club, I'm just lucky to be alive. So things like chiropractor appointments for me are a must. I know they don't help everyone, but it helps me, and anything to even get a fraction of pain relief is worth every penny in my opinion. So we start the week with the trip to the chiropractor where I get my bi-weekly spinal adjustment, followed by a sports massage by my boy Reggie, and I have him focus on things mainly like my back and my wrist. Now we move over to this machine called the Oxfit XS1. It's not a sponsor or anything like that. This thing is just insane. You might think it's like a regular cable machine, but it can do way more. It can basically give you 50 pounds of resistance when you pull the cable and then give you 70 pounds of resistance on the way back, or whatever numbers you choose. I know you're probably thinking, what's the point of this thing? It's just a regular cable machine. Well, yes, you can do all this stuff on a regular cable machine, right? You can do tight turns at 45 pounds and you can move it back and forth, but this will tell you how much power you're generating when you're doing those exercises. That's just one example. If you know who Joey D Golf is, he's got a gym with 6 of these machines in it, and the AI can save your metrics. It can kind of tailor like a custom workout for you based on your performance. So for the laser treatment, the cupping, the sports massage, the chiropractic adjustment, plus the machine time, it took about 2 hours and $150. And then we move right into personal training for the week. This is South Florida, however, so personal training down here is a little bit more expensive than wherever it is that you're at probably. It's $100 an hour. We did 4 hours this week, so the $400 this week. Now back to the golf for the week. So day 1, went and had a range session at my home course, so add $20 for a bucket of balls and 1 hour to the spreadsheet. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you what all the totals are at the end of the video. Day 2, went to one of my favorite courses in South Florida, the Nash. I met my buddy Johan Benson and his friend God, I'm so bad at names. I don't remember. I think he said his buddy's name was Will or William. If you're watching this, don't worry, man. I don't just forget your name. I forget everyone's name, so please don't take it personal. But Johan is a good friend of mine from the frozen wasteland up north that we call Canada. He's actually one of the TV broadcasters for PGA Canada. And since this was a practice round, I didn't keep score. I was just focusing on making content for short form videos as well as getting to see him since I haven't seen him in like 8 months. So add $50 for that tee time plus 4 hours. Then we move to another really nice course in South Florida, the Park West Palm Beach. If you've played there, you know. I didn't actually film anything that day because I wanted to just enjoy the company and enjoy the course. I was playing with one of my buddies and I was also playing with my girlfriend, so I wanted to just sit back and enjoy it. You know, I love the game of golf, and sometimes you don't want to just look through the screen on a camera for 4 hours while you're playing. So the clips that you're seeing right now is from the Park West Palm, but they're from like a year ago. So if the swing looks like trash, it's because I've made some progress in the last 12 months, regardless of what my comment section says. And I'm not gonna lie, the park is a really nice course, and I even contemplated adding this to the handicap series or not because I didn't even film the round. But the tee time with the golf cart is $250. And I know that I live in South Florida where everything is twice as expensive for golf during the winter because all the snowbirds move down here. But I've played some of the top 50 courses in the country, like Pinehurst number 2 and 4, Tobacco Road, and a lot of other very famous and established courses for less. But South Florida is what South Florida is, and if they can fill the tee sheet with those rates, who am I to determine what the price should be? Now, I know you all want to see what the handicap scoring round looked like, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip over the other practice round that I played, add $75 and 4 hours for that, played out my home course, and let's get to what you've all been waiting for. All right, no warm-up today, no range time. I'm just happy I was able to get the camera set up in time. Oh, God. Oof, that feels horrible. All right, I gotta go. Oh my God, that's the straightest drive I've hit all year. All right, we got like 160 something yards. I'm going 6 iron because I got absolutely no warm-up, and I would rather go long than short on this hole. The flag is in the best possible position. This is where you can actually get a chance at eagle. Be the number. Be the number. Oh God, it's short. I apologize for this weird angle, but obviously I can't put you in the swamp. I don't know about you, but this is probably one of my least favorite ways to hit a golf ball. I mean, there's no way to practice this, right? Like, you can't go to a range and hit these kind of shots where one foot is a foot higher than the other and you got to choke down on the actual shaft of the golf club, but you basically just have to try to make do with what you got. Oh boy, here we go. That's about all I could do from there. Just got to get it close. Ooh. All right, a little too much rollout. I apologize if I am playing a little quick and a little rushed, but the starter sent me out 1 minute before the next tee time behind me, so I'm trying to just create a little bit of space. I know the starter was trying to help me out because I was going to go film, but looking back, I should have just waited. That way I didn't have the extra pressure. Oh my God, I needed that. All right, I'll take a bogey. Little par 3, nothing crazy. That bunker on the right-hand side, though, has swallowed more balls than all 3 of the Kardashian sisters combined. I don't know why, but my ball always goes into that right bunker. Is that left to right up the hill? Yeah, left to right up the hill. Oh, that last second adjustment. I shouldn't have done it. Take a par. 320 yards. Pretty much what you see is what you get. And what I don't get is a golf tee. I left it in the cart. Oops. Ah, it's leaking right. It's either before, in, or after the bunker. Just as I suspected, over the bunker. Never a doubt. We got about a 95-yard shot with the wind, over a bunker, back pin. Oh, fuck me. What the hell was that? Yes, palm tree. Shout out to that palm tree that prevented me from taking out some guy's window. Underneath this palm tree, right on the green, stuff it right by the pin. How do I even do that? Okay, off to a great start. I gotta say, this is a prime example of a fast way to ruin your round mentally. I could have easily just thrown the whole round out after the first 3 holes when I went bogey and then double bogey on this hole. And if it looks like I'm having a horrible start to the round, that's because I am. But again, it's important. Don't just throw the entire round away because you have 1 or 2 bad holes, because after that, I'm gonna have a... Okay, after this shot, I'm gonna have a great rest of the round. Just keep on pushing, finish the hole, and then get on to the next one and turn it around.
Oh my god, dude. Should I be putting this? Absolutely. But mama didn't raise no bitch. See? I'm good from there. Anything further than 7 feet and I'm fucked. Thank the frick. It's so frustrating because like my driver has been on point all day. Like not a single bad drive. I just can't get up and down from fucking 100 yards. So I gotta stop putting myself 100 yards away from the hole. Let's try that.
I didn't know it at the time, but that was the best piece of information I could have given myself for the entire day.
All right, we're good. 130 into the wind, this is better. I'm not 100 yards. I can actually swing a club at it. For those of you wondering why I aim a little bit right, when I'm supposed to be doing everything I need to do, I'm hitting a draw. So when they go right, it means I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I end up on the right side. But this is okay. Okay, 130 yards into the wind, 8 iron. Oh, baby. Get there. All right, it's on the green. That felt absolutely lovely. All right, nothing special. Just keep it above the hole, go for a 2-putt. Greens are a little slow, so don't be afraid. Ooh, we'll take that, we'll take that. God, those feel so good. I think I'm like one of the first people to take a chunk out of this new tee box. Also, the grass is a bit long on it, so that's gonna be problematic. I'm taking a 6 iron. Be good. Oh, it's long. Okay, that's fine. I was looking for a good reason to fuck this hole up, so I'm gonna bring out the 60.
This is just me being an idiot. Don't do this.
Fuck my life. Why did I do that? I'm not moving the camera. Why did I do that? I told myself I was gonna do that. It don't matter when you putt like this, though. Oh my God! Oh, I thought he did it. I thought I did it. Ah, why am I doing? I'm doing like this weird thing. We're just gonna hit like a little 8 iron over this. It's 260 yards, but I don't want to hit something and then have a 100-yard shot in again.
Again, this is me just reinstilling that idea. If I'm not good from 100 yards, don't put myself 100 yards away from the hole.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I should have another 8 iron in from there.
This is exactly what I've been telling myself. If it's going to take me 2 shots to get there, make sure one of them's not 100 yards. If that means I have to hit the 8 iron twice, so be it. If I can hit the green from there, then use that club.
A little long. I tend to do that on this hole, but that's okay. Well, upon further inspection, I'm not as long as I thought I was. Pause. Okay, left to right breaker. I think. Oh God, now I'm second guessing. Yeah, absolutely no fucking chance on this planet does it break to the left. That'd be stupid. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take it.
During these kind of rounds, this is the last thing that I want. You see that golf cart up there? The guys in front of me let me play through it. And I had to do it with a camera while trying to play the best golf of my life.
Catch a piece. It's up there somewhere. All right, nothing like having to play through and then you stick one in the sand. Ooh, God, that felt so sexual.
Now, obviously, since I was playing through, I didn't set the camera up for a 6-inch tap-in putt, but I did make the putt for a par. Now, we've got a pretty difficult hole. It's a dogleg left, par 4. If you're going to cut the corner, you have to be able to carry that bunker that I'm trying to carry right now. I did end up pulling it probably about 10 yards too far left, so I am going to have to hit out of the rough. Not only out of the rough, but also off this little uphill mound, and I cannot stand uphill lies.
Uphill, not a fan of that. Really not a fan of hitting uphill. Okay, this might completely fuck my round up, but I'm gonna try and do like a little bump and run with a 9.
Again, this is my fault. This is me being stupid and trying new things that I don't normally do during a scoring round. I don't ever hit bump and runs like this with a 9-iron. No, never. I should have taken a wedge, but I'm desperate at this point because my chipping has been atrocious.
It's not gonna make it over that hill. I did kind of duff it. Dude, I will literally try anything at this point. Okay, don't worry about it. Just 2-putt this for bogey.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is another solid piece of advice. You don't have to always make it, just make sure you don't 3-putt it. Go for the 2-putt. All right, time for an update. So I shot a 41 on the front. Not a bad day for not getting any warm-up time on the range. I just had to trust the driver, make sure I kept the ball in play.
Oh my God.
And to be honest, this course isn't long, but you can see there are bunkers and water everywhere. I did proceed to play the back 9 after this without the camera because if I had to film the entire round, this video would be 30 minutes long, and you don't have that much time to watch it, and I don't have that much time to edit it either. But here's the scorecard. You already know that I shot a 41 on the front, and if it wasn't for that hole where I hit the palm tree, I would have escaped without a single double bogey on the front 9. And on the back, I shot a 39 for a total score of 80. Now, after I plugged that into the Gin app, my new handicap is a 16.6. That's a massive improvement this week from a 17.7 at the beginning of the week. Now, this is the part of the series that I hate. I have to total everything up. So this week, I spent $1,020 and 23 hours to try and become a single-digit handicapper. And that brings the series total to $8,286 since the beginning of August. I appreciate you guys following along for the journey, watching all the videos, and remember, subscribe or 3-putt the rest of your life.